Hello everybody, this is Kevin Element. I'm going to be doing a short video on how to get into Google Sheets to work on a personal budget. This is for my Success Strategies course, just to augment some of my students' learning and help them to complete their assignments successfully. So here I am at Google Sheets, sign in. I just did a little quick Google search for the word Sheets, and that's going to get me a link to get in there. I am authenticated in my browser, so that's going to help me to log in really fast. I love having my Chrome or my Firefox authenticated with my Gmail account. Having a little bit of a slow start to this, and I'm not entirely sure why. I might have to edit this part of the video out. Tap that again. Oh, there we go. So you'll notice that when you hit Sheets, if you're logged in and you already have gotten started, that there's going to be an untitled spreadsheet that gets pushed in front of the user experience. We don't need this right now. What I do want to do is under File, I'm going to look for a new from Template Gallery, right? So you can make a new spreadsheet, but I'm going to make a brand new one from Template Gallery. And you can search through all of this stuff, but what I'm looking for specifically, you got to be careful with this one. There's annual budgets and then there's monthly budgets. Monthly budgets are interesting because they're a little bit more granular than your annual budget, but the two are very useful. So as you start to get more and more into understanding your own personal finance, you might want to investigate how to do an annual budget as well. So I'm just going to click on monthly budget to get going. One thing I like to do in any Google Docs scenario is just go up in the top left-hand corner up here and take a quick moment to just give it a name. So I'm just going to call this let's call it Kevin's budget, because maybe somebody in your house wants to have their own budget. Who knows? But Kevin's budget, that's going to uniquely identify that for my students. Now you'll notice down here where I'm orbiting my mouse down below, just underneath where it says balance and end balance, there are two tabs that you can see. I'm gonna have to reposition my browser because it's trimming it off in OBS here. Let me get that big. Where can I grab the corner? Come on, Windows, let me have it. There we go. Try to make this, there we go. So I'll make this a little bit easier for everyone to see. There we go. My floating head over top of this stuff here. So under here, we got what's called your summary and then your transactions. Okay, those are important to understand. So those are two different pages inside of the spreadsheet that you can toggle back and forth. Now in transactions, this is where we record throughout the month the truth. So this is what's actually going to happen. And you'll notice that right now it says, for example, on this date, I'm going to receive a paycheck. Now this is an actual income. And then over here, we might say that I'm going to have $1,000 going out the door for rent. And that's in the category of home. So as you build more and more of these categories that are meaningful to you, you can pick these different areas. Oh, hello, Brett's phone is ringing. Perfect timing. We're just going to let that go. Oh, great. Anyway, yeah, That phone call is over. Edit right here. So you'll notice that these categories, they just magically came from somewhere. You got custom cat 1, cat 2, cat 3, and they even give you a little edit button here, which is super cool, right in that drop down. Now, I head back to my summary, and this gives you a very high level view of what's happening in your month. So because I started my month off with $1,000 in my bank account, this is my starting balance. So you do a sum of, maybe you have, $500 in a shoebox under your bed. That would go into your start balance. Maybe you have $1,000 in your bank account. Maybe you have a check that you haven't cashed yet from work. Well, that is a part of your starting balance. So you got to have to figure out what kind of money do I have when I'm starting off the month. That's important information that you're going to put into these fields when time comes. All right. So you have to be careful when you're editing these template files that are brought to you by Google, because see it here. Set your starting balance in cell L8, then customize your categories, plan your spending, but note, only edit highlighted cells. So with this color, right, this kind of flesh colored orangey skin tone here. Yeah, so you'll see down here, you'll food, gifts. So anywhere you see this pinky color, you can feel free to delete them. You can add to them. You can do whatever you want with them. And they've comfortably casually given us these like custom categories 1, 2, and 3, which is very handy. That's good to know. So for example, like I'm into video games, really into video games. So I'm going to write over this. I want my own category called video games. And I know that I am going to plan, it's not my actual spending, but I'm planning to spend $100 a month on video games. Right? Now, if you look up and down here, these are not specific items. That's important to point out. They're general. So like you might buy a bag of chips for $6 and that's food. You might also buy a can of beer and that is food. You might buy a popsicle and that is food, or you might go to the grocery store and buy a big bag of groceries for $60 and that's food. So that's all categorized there. So what am I going to plan to spend in my month? And I'm going to let you guys know what I'm actually up to. I try to shoot for $100 a week. That's what I do. I live alone. I don't have kids and family. So it's $400. I don't give people gifts. Well, maybe I will. So I'm going to have $50 for birthday gifts. My health and medical. Wait a minute. This one's interesting because in my health and medical categorization, I have my monthly medication bill, which is under my plan. I get it for $10. But what else? My vitamins and all the other stuff, right, that leads to my good health. Maybe I have a subscription on my iPhone for some mental health services or something like that. That all has to go into this category. So let's say for my health, I'm going to spend $200. My home, now that's tricky. Let's just put in a number, 1,000. We're going to find the reality out over the actual course of the month. And my transportation costs and my EV means that I spend $20 a week on gas. So I'm going to go, that's actually less. It's $60 a month for me to operate my car. And I don't have to pay any mechanical bills for my EV. I don't have oil changes. I don't have any costs associated with that. So my transportation is literally $60 a month. Oh, wait a minute. What about the car itself? That's a debt. I owe money for my car, which is $800. I bought myself a brand new Kona electric EV, and that's $800 a month. So that's got to go down in debt. So it's kind of neat. While you're thinking about things, as you're listing your item categories, you'll start to imagineer what are these different areas where I actually do spend money. Personal, what does that mean? So personal, maybe that's hair care, maybe that's getting your nails done, maybe that's going fishing with your friends. Like, I'll just give myself $400 a month for personal spending. Now you might be thinking, wow, this dude's got cash and he's got a lot of it if he's spending all of this money. Well, I'm 53 years old. I'm a full-time professor at a college. I do have money. I'm blessed. I'm spoiled, actually. I have more money than I need to meet my baseline physiological needs. I can buy $100 worth of video games and have $400 personal. That doesn't mean I'm going to spend it, right? Okay, we're going to come back to that concept very, very soon. So pets, I don't have any. Utilities, okay, that's a thing. I'm going to just go high. I'm going to highball it with 400. You're like, you don't spend that much. Don't forget your cell phone bill. That is a utility. Your power, your heat, your lights, all of these things go into utilities. Your water bill, your cell phone bill, your internet bill, right? We're going to find out pretty soon that utilities is actually low. So you're thinking that's a lot, but wait a minute. Travel, I would say 0, but let's say this is an interesting one. Let's say I want to do a trip this year, and I know, easy math, that it's got $1,200 for that trip. I'm going to budget for myself $1,200 to travel. Now I'm thinking annually now, aren't I? During this year, I'm going to save up $1,200 so that I can take this trip. What does that mean? This is a monthly budget, so I'm going to earmark $100 for travel, even though I am not taking the trip this month. I'm thinking about the year, okay? Even though we don't have an annual view of all of this, we could do another spreadsheet with our annual perspective, but this is monthly. So I'm going to save $100 a month to ensure that at the end of that year, I could take my kids to Walt Disney World and we can take the drive down. We can go into Walt Disney World. We got $1,200 to spend. All right. That's just a good catch-all category. I made my own custom category called video games because it's very unique to my identity and it's what I do every month. So, oh, wait a minute. Oh, $100 to buy games, but I also pay for my pass to Sony PlayStation. Can't forget that. And that's not cheap anymore. That's actually about $200 a year. Let's make it simple. Let's say it's $120 a year. So $120 a year divided by 12 is 10. So let's just throw in actually 150. Give ourselves some range in case that goes up. Now, so we've got all these columns down here. We've got the planned. This is what I'm planning to spend. And then I start to look up here, start balance, end balance. We can see expenses and income. Our planned expenses versus our actual versus our planned income versus our actual. That now looks into this category down here, okay? We're going to start to see soon if we're losing or making money based on this very important relationship here. I have not put anything into the transactions area here, so I need to be very careful not to assume right now that I am making money just because this orange bar is taller than the blue one. I'm not there yet. I need to get into what my actual is. So I get a paycheck of like $2,600 every 2 weeks. So 2,600 times 2 is 52. I'm just gonna say $5,500. Okay, $5,500. The actual is 1,500, and that means the diff is 4,000 in debt, debit. So that negative 4,000, that auto-magically put the negative in front of that 4,000 because it's saying that there's a difference of negative 4,000. But I'm planning 5. What do I have in savings? What do I have in a bonus coming in from my boss? Is there any interest I'm earning off of loans? I'm not going to get into that right now. It's complicated. If you are an investor person and you have interest coming in from certain things, you would incorporate that here, and you can start setting up custom categories. So I might have a side hustle, you know, I might be making $50 a month doing websites for people, just helping them out on the side, yada, yada, yada. Now it says actual. We don't want to edit the fields that are not pinky orange here. Those are the places we get to change stuff. So don't go typing in the actual here, because we're going to solve for that in the transactions field. This is where stuff gets realistic. So I can say on this date, I'm going to receive $2,700 as a paycheck in the category paycheck. Now this field here, now this gets confusing. So back here it says on this tab, on this page, don't edit anything that isn't orange. On this transactions page, we can edit whatever we want in here. we can put in as many of these bits of information as possible. Now, I will not lie, there's a bit of a frustration I have with Google Spreadsheets right now, and I'll show you why. If I click on the date here, then I get this very powerful date control system here. So I can say today. That zips me over to July 29th. I can click on this, and then I can say my actual paycheck last came in, well, I know I got paid on the 24th and the 10th. So the first one of the month came in on the 10th, and sorry, this is an expense, so we're going to leave that. My apologies. I'm going to focus down on what my income is first. So I click on this, I zip to today, I click on it again, and then I know that on July 10th, I got paid $2,700. Now, I can also be predictive in this. So I don't have to, I'm not stuck just entering in these as they actually happen. I can be predictive if I want to. There's nothing wrong with that. But if I double click on this field, this is my frustration. If this is a date field, then why don't I get the calendar control? Maybe I just don't know what I'm doing. Maybe there's another way to do it. So what I think is easy is that I just copy, Control X, Control V, that puts the old date in there, and then I can just double click. Right. The other thing that's just emergent right now, which I think is really fascinating, is that if I click and drag this little dot that's in the field down, watch what happens. It does a duplication. Let's try that again. Delete, delete. If I grab this one and drag it down, something's changed since the last time I used this. It went into this like AI mode. Maybe it's over here. Let me see here. Delete. I just saw it for a second there. Old man operating computers. There's something that was popping up in the bottom left. It's like a little plus button. I don't know how to get it again. It's the AI features that are now starting to come in with the Google suite of tools. It's their own personal suite of AI tools. So what I'm gonna have to remember how to do it and show my class. But if I just drag this down, then it will add 1 to the previous day. So it's just doing that auto-magically. Right. So really I'm trying to get to the point where I can double click on this field and see this date control, because this is useful to me. Double clicking on this and having to type in 715/ blah, 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 blah. I don't like that. I want to make sure that it's perfectly a date formatted just right. So if I copy and paste it here and then I double click, okay, cool. Then I can add 2 weeks to that. So I know I got paid on the 24th. I'll duplicate this amount by just dragging the dot down. We'll see what happens. So it did dupe it. So in this one here, oh, there's the dot. Why is it popping up here? So it says drag to fill with Gemini. Okay. So if I click on this one, it's not there. What's going on? Drag to fill with Gemini. I don't understand. It says here generating. So this is what I was trying to do. And it's like, if this is the same number as this, and the dates are 2 weeks apart, it's being smart. It's like, this must be paycheck. Okay. So the category is then paycheck, etc. Okay. So what has changed in the overarching vision of my month? If I go back to summary, oh, I have just, my start balance was $1,000 in my bank account. I've added to that $5,400. Now I'm rich. No, I'm not. I'm not rich yet. Far from it, because what exists over here on table 2 is the expense sheet. My rent is more like I don't have rent. So if I go back to my summary, do I have rent in a category field here? Do I have, where's rent? Where's rent coming from? That's the description of my home category. So over here, I said that in my home, I was going to probably output $1,000. Okay. So this is false. This is super wrong, and I didn't actually take the time to edit this properly. If I had a mortgage in Thunder Bay right now, I might say $2,000, right? And the actual, it says 1,000. So if I actually only spent $1,000, then I'm bonusing out. I'm plus $1,000. This doesn't really make any sense for this category known as home, because those things are fixed. These are fixed values. So I'm in a relationship with my bank, and I'm always giving them $2,000. So that's kind of a myth. So transactions, I'm going to say that and I'm making this up right now because I don't have a mortgage on my house. I paid it off. On Friday the 3rd, at the beginning of the month, I gave them $2,000. Describe it for my mortgage. Good old English, mortgage. And that category makes sense in home. And then I would say, oh, okay, double click. Where's the date thing? Silly software. But maybe it'll give me the AI piece. No, it doesn't want to do it. I don't know what's going on here. I'm just going to click and drag this box down. I'm going to say that on the 9th, when I was coming home from work one day, I spent $89. I got an alert on my phone, and it told me that Grand Theft Auto just came out, which it did, and I actually spent $145 on Grand Theft Auto. Whoopsie, $145, that's wrong. $145, let's get this right. So I'm going to GTA 6 came out, and I bought it, and that category is video games, because I made that custom category earlier. And then I'm going to go just carry on. So I can just drag this box all the way down, because I know I'm going to need dates all the way down. Double click over here. I went grocery shopping. I spent $98 here on, what did I buy? Groceries. I mean, you don't have to be like ridiculously granular. You can if you want, right? You could do this. Okay, watch this super cool thing. So groceries, but where does that belong? That's in food. Watch this. If I press add sheet here in the bottom left-hand corner, let me just nudge this over so we can see it. Go over. There you go. Plus, if I go plus, then I have a new sheet. I'm going to give the sheet a name by double-clicking on it, and I can call this groceries. This is where stuff gets powerful, people. Groceries. And I could say, I could go to town on this. I could say tomatoes, and those are $2. $2. Right? You see where I'm going with this, right? Cereal. Why am I still eating cereal? I don't eat cereal, but it's $7 a box. So I'm trying to figure out how to save money. So list it out. Look at your receipt from your Best Buy purchases. Look at your receipts from your Freshco purchases, your Safeways and your Metros. Go shopping at different places and compare and contrast your costs. You might find that Freshco is the best bargain in town. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So maybe I say, the next week I'm going to try myself out some porridge. Can porridge be delicious? Absolutely, if you add maple syrup to it. And that was $2. I just saved $5. And I want to make mention to something important to y'all. If you don't spend money on something, let's say you walk up to the checkout counter and you're holding in your hands this $7 bottle of hand sanitizer, and you're about to buy it for $7. That means you're going to be debited $7, negative $7 for this. Here you go. Or at that moment of purchase, you put it away and you tell that person at the till, I don't want that anymore. You just paid yourself $7. Saving money literally is like paying yourself. I know that sounds abstract, and accountants around the world are cringing, going, ooh, who's Tap Guy? Ignore him. Ooh, that's not paying yourself. That's just zeroing out the debts and the income, right? That's just just not putting nothing in here. That's not really paying yourself. But think about it rationally for a second. Think about this. You were about to give somebody $7 and then you didn't. So -7 or what? 0? No. You just saved $7. That means you have $7 more to work with to do things in life, like invest it into the stock market at 8% to turn that $7 into $7.2, and then $7.2 becomes $7.8, and etc., etc., etc. If you don't spend money, you're paying yourself. And I'm going to stand by that theory forever and a day. Okay, back to our spreadsheet. So income, expenses, we work this, right? And it's work. It's really hard, right? Because one expense we forgot. Oh boy, oh boy. We don't want to talk about this, do we? Beer. I'm going to even write it lowercase because I don't even want to think about it. Smokes. Oh, geez. Beers and smokes. Smokes and beers. Why don't we just make one category called beer / smokes / Timmy's? Oh boy. We don't want to look at this. We don't want to, and I'm done. I'm going to delete this row. We do not want to think about this. Oh, something important's happening. If I wanted to delete this row, right click, delete row, watch this error. Don't get freaked out. Heads up, you're trying to edit part of the blah, 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 blah. It's okay. I'm deleting it. I know what I'm doing. This is just a heads up, like you're changing something. Don't be afraid and hit cancel. Just say, okay, it's not going to break anything. It's fine. But let's go back to beer, smokes, and Timmy's. Beer, smokes, and Timmy's. Transactions. By the end of the month, and I did this math, this literally led me to quitting drinking and quitting cigarettes. Literally. I bought $400 for cigarettes. Put that into beer, smokes, and Timmy's. I need some more dates here. I also do the date right by the end of the month. Maybe I just calculate this at the end of the month. How much is a case of beer these days? $40. Case of beer. Does that last you guys a week? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not trying to teach you how to live your life. I don't give it, I don't care. I do care, but I don't. You live your life. We live in a free society, so be free. So let's say it's, I like my specialty beers and I like going out to the bar. Let's not forget the bar. Oopsie. I'm going to spend $80 a week at the bar. So 80, 160, 320. Holy shit. 320? 320. Oh God. And plus those cases of beer. Oh no. Did I spend $400? No, I didn't. I spent $500 on booze. I'm going to put that in that category. And then every day, go up here. I'm going to do the math for the month. Because you can do that. You can do the math for the whole month. It's 250 times 3. 250 times 3. 750 times 5. 750 times 5. And I might need my friend here, Calculatrix. My old buddy, the calculator. I have 750 a day. Times 5. Times 4 weeks. $150 for coffees. Put that into beer, smokes, and Timmy's. Just ruminate on that for a second. Just let that soak in. Because we don't want to put that on our monthly budget spreadsheets. We want to imagine that cost just goes away. We don't want to think about it. Right? Well, we have to. Now, invariably, as you start to fill this out, and I'm not going to do that, I'm going to cut away and populate this for my own life. And then I'm going to come back and finish off the video to show you the success of my work. But this is what my homework is for my students right now. So I need you, don't worry about the groceries tab. You can put that in if you want and start roughing this out if you want. It's kind of neat to me too, because you end up with a grocery list. And the great thing is you can look at Google Sheets on your phone and you can have a grocery list. And you can literally be pushing the numbers right off into here. I know everyone wants to rush through their groceries and get it done because it's work, but it's kind of neat. And the first time you do it, you could just maybe take an extra half hour to add all the numbers into these fields while you're walking down the aisles in your phone. And then you get a much better idea of what's really happening with your food, which is a very big expense in the world. Right? We haven't talked yet about, for example, one of the important categories. This is easy stuff to do, but your utilities. Let's say your power bill is coming in, Powers is coming in at $89 a month. Right now I'm wrestling with the fact that I'm paying $125.00 for my web access, also known as your ISP or the internet, right? So I could access what am I looking at out there? So my games can go on the internet. That's part of games, I guess. No, but it's actually a utility. So you start drilling down into all this stuff, and it's very fascinating to find out what's really going on in your life. And this number's not changing. Mortgage is not changing. This could change. My groceries might change. My power is never going to change. This could change. I could renegotiate my cost, right? Coffees definitely can change. So something I did in my life, right click, I got rid of this all. And this is really hard. I'm not saying anyone should do this necessarily, but you might want to consider that. And why can't I delete these? Right click, hide them, clear them, delete them. There you go. That I just got rid of in my life. So now my monthly looks like this. And it feels really good to know that I'm putting $1,000. Remember, I give somebody $1,000 or I don't. If I don't give them the $1,000 for Beer, Smokes, and Timmy's, guess what? I'm paying myself $1,000. I am my own best customer. I love paying myself money. I like it. It's good because then I could decide what I want to do with it later. And if you are actually taking that money, I'm not lying. You take that $1,000 and you invest it in something like Enbridge, and I'm not trying to give you insider tips here. Enbridge, CN Rail, they're not sexy stocks. Okay, they're not. But they're 5%, maybe 3%, who knows? But the compounding interest on $1,000 that you saved a month because you saved your liver, your lungs, and your heart and your mind, $1,000 to save your heart, your liver, your stomach, your intestines, and your mind, you saved $1,000. Will become $1 million. $1 million. Especially if you start putting $1,000 away into your just Enbridge. Just Enbridge alone will turn into $1 million if you did that monthly by the time you're 65, and you would be a millionaire. Think about that for a second. I'm going to leave it at that because this is where we start, and I'm going to come back later when this is complete and do another video. So I'm going to stop the recording here. Thank you all very much for listening to my video, and I look forward to seeing you later. Peace.